Yeah, we're heading down right here, right on Sandstorm.
Already?
We're started
Damn,
right here, right
we
to the
early.
first point. Yeah, why don't you take it here on market?
All right, so we kicking it off a market. Still haven't got my oranges. Every time I come here, they're always fighting. So we've got WASP and Zero Tolerance. WASP are ahead, 100 points right now, doing all right. And Vepsi gets taken out by Gamble. Zero Tolerance not looking all right. I think they'll do all right in this match. WASP definitely got something to prove here. We got Shrike, always doing well. Always nice to see Shrike. He takes out Iquake. And nobody at the point with 20 seconds left. Gamble's trying to play the defense against Iquake, gets taken out there. Shrike takes him out. And 200 RPM takes out Shrike. Vepsi with a two-piece. Very nice. We got VX Bliss holding the point there with Vepsi. Iquake on his way. We got Young Sips coming up from behind. Young Sips takes out Iquake. We got 250 points for WASP. 5 seconds left. Young Sips with another two-piece, staying alive as well. And we should be moving on to the next point.
Yeah, we have Gambles here in the corner for Zero Tolerance. Vepsi comes in, and Vepsi takes out Gambles and Shrike. Young Sips on the FAMAS this time around, gets a couple kills himself there, and it looks like Zero Tolerance going to swoop in. Gambles in the corner here trying to hold it down. Vepsi grabs Shrikes there, and VX Bliss grabs Gambles there. Zero Tolerance just doubling Wasp's score here, but very, very, very close. Gambles on the point, doesn't matter. Death Drone coming in, gets taken out by Vepsi, excuse me. Iquake on the LMG takes out Young Sips. Shrike grabs two with Vepsi, and Iquake grabs another one with Bliss. He gets taken out. Young Sips grabs one from on the FAMAS, and we have WASP on the point. Vepsi in the corner here, doing really well, holding it down for his team. Grabs one on Gambles. Iquake grabs one on Shrike. Young Sips gets a FAMAS kill on Iquake, and then Iquake respawns and grabs it right back on him. We're gonna abandon this point and head on to the next one. What do you think, Brown Man?
Gambles and Shrike did use their death opportunity from the end of the last point to make their way to the new one early. They were just chilling, and they're doing all right. Death Drone, the two-piece, but gets taken out himself by Vepsi. We got a good point lead by WASP at the moment. Zero Tolerance needs to make their way back a little bit. Gambles gets taken out, so Shrike stays on. Young Sips takes out Iquake. Young Sips already on a 5-kill streak as well. Takes out VX Bliss as well. Vepsi trying to make his way forward to get into Gambles and just try to take him out. Shrike gets taken out there by VX. Another two-piece from VX. Vepsi kills Death Drone. Doing well right now with 15 seconds left. Zero trying to make their way back over. They don't have too much time. They got maybe this last attempt before they can start traveling over to the next point. Iquake, Vepsi, and VX trying to take their last few points from this this area with 1 second left, and we should be on our way.
Yeah, onto the final point here. We've got Zero Tolerance on the point to start it off with Young Sips, but Vepsi crashes in, grabbing Gambles and Young Sips on his way with Bliss grabbing Shrike too. But WASP countering here and taking over. Shrike grabbing a double. He grabs 200 and Vepsi, and then he grabs Bliss to make it a triple. But Zero Tolerance crashing the point again and taking over. Zero Tolerance going to be soaking points here. It looks like, yeah, Zero Tolerance still. Death Drone on the sniper here, looking down the corridor, trying to pick one up. He doesn't. Gambles stays alive, though. Gambles doesn't pick up any kills, but he doesn't pick up any deaths either, and he stays alive here. Lets Young Sips soak some points there. He's going to pick up a kill there. He gets one. Gambles comes in, gets one on Quake, but VX Bliss comes in and gets one on Gambles. Shrike picks up the Rev on Bliss, and we have 10 seconds left on this point. No real winner on this point, but it looks like WASP is about double Zero Tolerance's points here, leading into the next point here on the second rotation.
We're back to market. It's rotation number 2. Shrike's doing well. Got him. Death Drone gets taken out there by 200 RPM. Young Sips takes out Iquake. And Zero trying to hold their position at the moment, doing a decent job, sending some of the soldiers out to make sure they can keep the point for a little bit longer. Iquake takes out Death Drone, very close as well, little bit of health. And Iquake doing all right. We got WASP holding the point, trying to, at the moment, Zero Tolerance, trying to come back in. WASP does have a solid lead right now, 600 points with 24 seconds to go left, 24 seconds left of this point. And WASP coming in hard. Young Sips dealing with Iquake, but gets taken out. Vepsi holding the position with Bliss. Very low health, but they're recovering. And Zero on their way. 8 seconds left. And it seems like WASP are taking this point pretty well. with another 2 seconds left, they should be moving.
Yeah, Wasp about 800 points ahead, but Zero Tolerance already sitting on this next point. Bliss coming down the hallway picks up 3 kills, one on Gambles, Shrike, and Sips to make it a triple kill. 200 RPM comes to join him. He picks up one on Death Drone. And they are going to take this point here. 200 RPM comes to join him, but Young Sips from the box play on the FAMAS takes the kill there, surviving with very little health, but very little is enough to gain points. So he's looking out here. Gambles looks down. He doesn't pick up a kill, but he doesn't pick up a death. He does get one there on Bliss. Gambles is on a 5-kill streak. Shooting in on Gambles, we got Young Sips takes out Quake, 200 takes out Gambles, Young Sips on 200 again. Vepsi pulls out the Rev, he gets one on Young Sips, and it looks like Wasp is going to take this point. About 800 points ahead here, 10 seconds left on the point. All 4 members here on the point. Looks like Zero Tolerance is just going to rotate, maybe poke a little bit, try to throw off their rotation, but it looks like Zero Tolerance is going to respawn back and try to get a solid start on this next point.
So Gamble's already trying to stop Bliss on the approach. Shrike takes out, Death Drone takes out VX Bliss there, and Eyequake makes his way in. Young Sips with 3 kills already, and Shrike takes out VX Bliss. Gambles with a 5-kill streak in his pocket, and waiting at the top platform as usual. Death Drone waiting behind the wall, and Shrike in the middle. Vepsi and the rest of them coming in. Wasp with a big lead already, 2400 to nearly about 18 with 0. 200 RPM, low health with Eyequake. Vepsi coming in too. Now they're going to split up and try to come from both entrances, but it's still going to be tough because Wasp is ready for it. So 0 right now. We got Gambles on the point, accumulating some there with Death Drone and Young Sips. They take out VX Bliss with 15 seconds left. Shrike's coming in. Oh, and gets taken out there by Eyequake. This definitely looks like it's going to be Zero's point, but they still have a 500 point deficit to deal with 5 seconds left. Eyequake and VX Bliss building some as well while VX recovers, and we should be moving on to the next point.
Yeah, 500 point deficit though is pretty good going into this because that's 300 less than before. So I think Zero Tolerance really building some ground here, and Wasp maybe losing a little bit of ground, and it's really going to come up to the next few points. We've only got 4.5 minutes left of this whole game here, so you know, you really want to see Zero Tolerance buckle down and grab a few points here. Young Sips on it, shooting down, grabs one on Quake, grabs another one on Vepsi. These guys pretty definitively taking this one, closing the gap even further now to only 400 points separating these two. All right, Vepsi shooting in, grabs one on Young Sips, 200 grabs one on Gambles, and then Wasp has totally taken over this point. Death Drone looks down, takes a little peek, steps back in. It's not for him. Oh, he looks down again, still not for him. No, he grabs Eyequake, VX Bliss grabs just Death Drone. Really wasn't for him. 10 seconds left on this point. We're going to go back to market. It's going to be the last rotation. What do you think, Brown Man? What's your prediction here?
This is the last go around. We got 4 more points. Wasp is about 600 points ahead. It is tough, but very doable. We've seen some big comebacks already, and Wasp, but see, Zero's got about 700 to go. But Wasp building up right now. You got Young Sips coming to the point with Death Drone. They're trying to make their way. They only need a few hundred more points. It's very doable. Shrike and VX Bliss taking out a lot of people right now, but Vepsi takes out Gamble and Shrike as well. Vepsi on very low health, trying to hold the fort, 200 RPM as well. We've got 30 seconds left just about. A lot of movement, but no one's holding the point. It's too dangerous right now. You got to make sure your teammates are still alive, and you got to make sure you're still alive. Shrike, little bit of health there, gets taken out by VX. Eyequake takes out Young Sips. This is difficult for Zero right now. They're about 800 points behind with 12 seconds left of this first point of the last rotation. Death Drone holding on top of a crate, waiting for people to come in. With 5 seconds left, there's not going to be another approach after this one. So we're going to have to see what they do and how they handle this on the next point.
Yeah, Zero Tolerance has stacked in here to start this one. They're about 600 points behind still. Staying about the same. Vepsi pulling 2. Young Sips and Shrike grabbing both of them. And Gambles to make it 3. Wasp, excuse me, holding the point here, shooting down. Death Drone looking down, trying to grab a snipe. He doesn't. Vepsi grabs Gambles and Shrike again. Young Sips grabs Vepsi. Death Drone gets a snipe on VX Bliss finally. And we have Death Drone in the corner holding down the point for his team. Shrike's there too. Young Sips is there as well. Eyequake is there running around trying to poke one in for his team. 200 RPM is there on a point, and Wasp has taken this one. They've extended the lead. They're up by 700. It's looking good for Wasp here. And yeah, Shrike grabs one on 200 RPM there with the revolver. Young Sips grabs one on Vepsi with the FAMAS. and iQuake grabs an LMG kill. Vepsi grabs one with a revolver on Death Drone, but it's still Wasp's point here, and we're moving on to the next one. 2 left here. On to you, Brown Man.
All right, we're on the penultimate point at the moment. 0. They're slightly behind, but they're not doing too bad. They've held the point for a few seconds so far. We got a triple stack at the moment. Not doing too bad. 500 points different at the moment. We got WASP trying to come in. They want to maintain their lead. They don't want to lose any more footing. But unfortunately, 0. For them, 0 has got about a 300 point differential at the moment. WASP building that back up now though. But 0 not giving up. They're coming back in. We've got 30 seconds left. Gambles takes out Vepsi and iQuake. Death Drone takes out 200 RPM. We got 0 making their way to the point. They got a few seconds to accumulate before they're going to have to engage with WASP. Not doing too bad at all. This is looking pretty good for 0. If they can dominate the rest of this point, or at least do well in this point, they can definitely take the next one if they do their best. So Gambles taking out Vepsi there. 0, 6 seconds left, holding this point, 200 RPMs, tries to come in for the disrupt, but the rest of the team moves on to the final point, and they're going to see what they can do over there.
It's this final point. Zero Tolerance has finally pulled ahead a little bit. It's basically tied here. Wasp is on the point. They're shooting down. Vepsi grabs 2. No, Vepsi grabs 1, excuse me, Gambles, but then Yug Sips takes him out. It's Zero Tolerance on the point here. All 4 of them stacked on the point. Vepsi sticks his head out, but he gets it taken off by Shrike. iQuake grabs Young Sips. Shrike is looking at iQuake. He grabs him on the revolver. Zero Tolerance. All 4 of them stacked up here on the point. Shooting down. They grab Shrike. He's on a 5-kill streak. He gets Vepsi. iQuake here. He grabs up. VX Bliss has 2 on the AK. Gambles and Shrike. And another one with Young Sips. Vepsi. Revolver on Death Drone. Wasp is taking this point. 200 point difference here. What's going to happen? 200 RPM on the SMG kill. They're trying to disrupt this point here. 110 point difference. It's looking like... Oh, Gambles comes in. Shrikes comes in. Gambles is the only one on the point. Zero Tolerance clutches it at the very end. Zero Tolerance with the upset.
Oh my god, that was insane.
I mean,
wow.
at the last second. Jeez. Love to see it. You love to see it. They scratched and fought the whole way back. Wasp lost it at the very end. I don't know. Maybe the teamwork wasn't there. The effort was great on both teams, but you know, Zero Tolerance right there to take that win. Love to see it.
Absolutely amazing. That was super clutch. Gee, oh, wow. All right. Those are my favorite types, man. You never know.
All right, so you know, while we're here, let's you know, throw another shout out to the sponsors tonight. You know, Logitech and Blue microphones. The winners of tonight will be getting Logitech G Pro wireless mice, along with a Logitech G mouse pad. And also the MVP will be getting a Yeti X mic, which is like a $299.95 value. Pretty crazy stuff tonight coming from Logitech and Blue. So, you know, hats off to those guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, also, you know, toss out a Picklebet in chat. Check out Picklebet. This is the Picklebet Krunker Pro League. You know, appreciate those guys, you know, taking interest in Krunker and, you know, fronting some prize money here and getting things off the ground. Really good to see. And, you know, we like to see it, right?
Just want to show some love to Sips as well. You know, had some cool stuff before. But
put some respect on his name, he says.
yeah,
I think
Sips is good. Don't get me wrong. Don't even worry. But yeah.
All right, so who do we have coming up next? It looks like Prime versus Ground Zero. Yeah. So we've seen both of these teams tonight already.
They did them coming up against each other. I think will be interesting. Ground Zero's been doing very well. Prime did all right as well, but we've seen so many close matches today, and it's hard to call any of them really when we've gone through them. Most of them have just been too hard to call or really have a proper favorite. We're just getting some super razor thin stuff.
Well, I think that's why it's great that it's, you know, the tournament runs as long as it does, and you know, on top of the prize money at the end of the tournament, Logitech has thrown on the prizes, you know, like I said, like the mice and the mouse pad, you know, stuff like that goes to the, you know, the winner of the league at the end. You know, it's really great to see that kind of stuff and how it's all, you know, bundled into one, and we don't have to finish it all here tonight. What started here today, you know, leads into next week. and then the following week. So it's really good to see some big names getting involved in Krunker, and some people participating, really picking up some awesome gear along the way.